Importing preferences and calibrating virtual environment.
Hey YouTube, it's MIgardener, and guess what? Today we are growing big or going home, and you are gonna follow me today. I am super hyped up. I have never been this excited in my entire life. Well, maybe the last time I played the trumpet, I was a tad bit more excited, but that was because I was starting the stuff. This time, I'm actually transplanting, and I'm so happy to get to bring you guys along. And a lot of times, I find it really overwhelming, and sometimes I feel like I don't have enough time to do it all. But somehow it always seems to come together, and I always have time to put out a video for you guys. I always have time to bring you guys along, because a lot of times I'll just pop on the camera and I'll do what I was going to be doing anyways, just with a camera in front of my face. And sometimes those are the best episodes. But you know, it always helps to see how you guys like it. So if you do like it, I'm still getting over my cold, but that does not stop my excitement. If you guys like it, please just say thumbs up in the comments box, because remember, I have disabled my comments for a little while, or my ratings for a while. So just say thumbs up if you like this video in the comments box. And also favorite it. I love when people favorite the video, because it helps spread the word, because not only is this informational for you guys, but I'm trying to get the word out that it's not that hard to be self-sustainable. Yeah, I'm 18 years old. Yeah, I'm an adult, but I'm also a kid. I can be self-sustainable. That means you can be self-sustainable. It's so easy. And this whole thing started just from me wanting to be self-sustainable. I thought it was cool. I could do it, so I wanted to teach you guys. That's the only reason why I'm here. And then once you guys started viewing, I started realizing that there was actually a substantial viewer base. It started getting popular and started getting funner. And is funner a word? I don't think funner. It was more fun. And so I just kept making more videos, and then now I have like 1,100 subscribers, and I'm happy as can be. I would be happy with 2 subscribers. Heck, I'd be happy with no subscribers, as long as I was getting views on my videos at least. But but what's super fun is making the videos, knowing that I can help people and make a change in their life. Because to have to go to the store and pay like $2 a pound for tomatoes that you could grow yourself, it hurts the pocketbook. I know every single time when I have to go buy tomatoes at the store, I always cringe, because I don't like buying the vine ripened tomatoes. I like buying the Michigan heirloom tomatoes, but those are $4.99 a pound. $4.99. That's ridiculous. That's absolutely ridiculous to pay $4.99 a pound for one tomato that might be a pound. I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, and people complain about how expensive gas is, when if you look at tomatoes, I would say a tomato is worse than a gallon of gas, because one tomato might weigh a pound and you're paying $2 more for it. I mean, but you don't hear people blowing up about that. But it's just the fact that it's what's publicized by the news. But I got on a mini rant. Wow, I really, tractor beam. Okay, back to the topic. Okay, Luke. All right. I don't have ADHD, I don't have ADD, but sometimes I have the attention span of like a rock, so I tend to fly off the handle. So if you catch me doing that, just hit me inside the head with like a tomato plant or something. I'll come back, I promise. But today we're gonna be transplanting. I got my 72 cell flats. And I also have my light set up. I'm just waiting for one little bolt, and I get my last light set up. So I'm super pumped. So I'm gonna bring you guys along. I'm gonna show you how I transplant my tomato plants. It's really easy. It's really easy. I cannot stress that enough. It is so easy. It's not a rocket science. So follow me. I'm gonna bring you guys in close. I'm gonna show you step by step how I transplant my tomato plants to get them ready to go outdoors. Stay tuned. All right, so what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to fill the 72 cell the 72 cell tray all the way up to the top with soil. And I'm going to explain to you why in a second. It's way easier this way than filling it up halfway and then planting your seed and then filling up the rest. It's just so much easier. So I'm just going to take this soil mixture here. Now what I have is I have some Miracle Grow moisture control mix. It's a little bit more expensive. You can downgrade to a cheaper potting mix if you're on a budget. But I always like the best for my tomato plants, so I'm only going to give them the best. And it's great. It holds the moisture like you would not believe. Just scrape off the extra dirt. It's not a rocket science, like I said. This should only take a couple minutes, if that. I mean, it doesn't really take me that long. I just pile it on, and then I just shake it down, and it's never failed me before. So, don't overanalyze it. A lot of people make it seem like, oh, you gotta have the right amount of nitrogen. You gotta have all the phosphorus and the potassium and that stuff. You don't even need to add that stuff until you're planting in the soil. I mean, really, nitrogen is important, but they're not going to be in the soil that long to the point where they're going to deplete all the nutrients, because the soil that you buy has a tendency to have added nutrients already in it. So now I'm going to get ready to plant. Alright, so what I basically have here is, if you watched my last video, I just had a giant flat here that I just filled all the way up with soil. And this is just the flat that you would like hold the little square pots, the little 2x2 square pots. They fit in these little squares here. But what I found is really great is just to fill it up with soil itself, and then in between here is a little square that divides where the pots go, and I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a little divider, and those just really help to keep the seeds divided. And I just took a packet and I just spread them all in there really thick, and then they come up like almost like a carpet. And it's really key because this does not hurt the seedlings at all whatsoever. A lot of people will say, no, you got to space them out, you're going to hurt the roots. No, not at all. That's completely false. What you can do is you can just literally have like a grass mat of seedlings, and it won't hurt them at all. If anything, it makes the stronger ones prevail, which you'll get stronger plants from. But you have to catch them before they get their second set of seed leaves. When they get their first set of adult leaves, you should have them removed from this cluster. Otherwise, you will hurt the roots, because when the plants first put down a taproot, I'll pull one out for you and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I'm just going to use a plastic fork. That way it doesn't hurt the roots. I just loosen the soil, and then I just simply take my seedling right out. So as you can see, the taproot is not formed the fibers yet of the real root. It's just kind of like it's a mini taproot. And so you're not going to have the intertwining of roots like people would think, as long as you can get it before that stage. Alright, so what you're going to do is you're going to simply, here you can probably see that a little bit better there. You stick your pencil in the pointed end of the pencil, and you're just going to twist. Stick it in and twist, and it makes like a little cone. Stick it in and twist. Stick it in and twist. And I just do that for all of the cells that I plan on planting. Then you're going to take your pencil and your seedling. You're going to set it in there. Now notice it's standing up a fair amount. You're going to take the eraser end that's not sharp, it can't hurt the roots, and you're just going to push down gently. And that's just going to drop it right down in the bottom of that little cone you just made, and it's going to plant it deep. There's no reason to worry about putting soil around the stem, like taking a cup and filling it up around there. It's okay if you only have like one tomato plant like that, but when you have over 1,000, it just takes way too long. I tried it, and this method is just beautiful. And these really, as you can see right there, I don't know if it's too contrasted, but as you can see right there again, no fibrous roots, just a long taproot. And it's really great. It's really great this way because you can save on space. You don't need to plant each one in an individual cell. You just disperse the seeds as thick as you want in there, and they will all come up. Also, another thing that I was going to add is you don't want to save all of the seeds that come up. I know a lot of people say, well, it's wasting seed. Yes, it is wasting seed, but when you have as many seeds as I do, the one thing you have to realize is that you're going for quality, not quantity. I'm going for quantity in the sense of tomato plants, but you have to realize that I planted probably 1,300 seeds, and I'm only saving 800 to 900 plants. So really, in the large spectrum of things, I'm throwing out a lot of seed or seedlings. But I only want the strongest ones. And the way you can tell which ones are the strongest is by simply looking at the ones that come up first. If you have one plant that comes up first, it obviously has the most vigor. And vigor is what you look for in a tomato plant. I mean, that's what you look for in anything, really. Because if you're trying out for the golf team, let's say, or you're trying out for the basketball team or the football team, and you want to be the star player, you have to show that you have something that not everyone else does, and you'll get picked. It's the same way with everything. I mean, it's natural selection. The strong survive. I mean, it happens all the time. And I'm not going to get into like evolution or Christianity or anything, but one aspect of the fit survive is very true. I mean, Darwin was definitely right in that aspect that the fit will survive and reproduce, and the ones that lag behind just simply will get cut, and that's the sad fact about it. So you can't feel bad about tossing some seedlings out, because if you want to have a successful garden, you have to be able to do that. And yeah, it's a mindset you have to get into, but in order to have a successful garden, you have to. It's one of those things that you have to do. So I'm going to finish up this flat, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I'm done. I'm going to show you what I do to help get these things acclimated to the soil. Okay, so now that I have the flat filled with the tomatoes, I'm going to take some of this fertile loam fish emulsion, and this is just some added nitrogen and stuff to the plants to help them kickstart back into growth mode. And I just take the container and I just do 2 squeezes. See, just about, it equals about maybe a teaspoon, and I just put it in this tiny little watering container that I got here, and then I have some distilled water that I've just been letting set out to let the chlorine get out of the water, because I don't want to harm the good bacteria. And so I used up all the water there, but then I just take a fork, I just stir it up really nice. And also as a note, now that I just coughed, I just realized to tell you that as much as I try to not do this, I try to not cough on my plants, because they're living just as much as you are, and if you're sick, when you cough, you spread germs, and I don't know totally, but I just psychologically I feel like it would be smart to not cough on your tomato plants. And now what I'm doing here is I just simply stuck the nose of the watering can underneath the flat, and I'm watering from underneath. This way you don't compact the soil, you don't flood the seeds out, and you don't get the foliage wet. And you can get these trays at pretty much anywhere. They're a holeless seed starting tray, so that way you can flood the pan.
and I literally flood it. I mean, I added this entire, almost a whole quarter of a gallon to half a gallon of water. I just simply mixed with the fish emulsion and dumped that in there. And then I give it 1 or 2 tips just to get the liquid evenly distributed in there. And that's really all it is to it. Seriously, it is not rocket science. It's super easy. And these things are going to have a great start now. And, oh, excuse me. And then in about maybe 3 to 4 weeks, I'm going to transplant them into their 1-gallon pots where they'll stay for another 2 to 3 weeks, and then they're going to be outside. So, you got to know the process before you can just jump into this, but it's really not that hard of a process to grasp. So, I hope you understand, and I hope you find this really informative. Alright, so before I leave you guys today, I thought it'd be really cool to show you guys my setup. And as you can see, there's the one light that still has not been fixed to the new setup that I got going. I have these fans strategically positioned so that they're blowing air all the way down the flats, so they get all of the wind, because the wind jostles the plants, and it makes them so they vibrate back and forth, and that makes them sturdy and nice and stocky. And then this fan right here, it pivots 180 degrees, so it gets this whole table right here, because I couldn't position it. Position it behind this table like the other one. So as you can see here, I have my lights set up. I have the one daylight white, that's the bluish tone, and then I have one yellowish orange 300 watt CFL. They're both 300 watts actually, but they just put out a different lumen. And as you can see here, all the tomatoes are really growing very uniformly. I have this reflector only about 1.5 inches from the about 2 inches actually, about 2 inches from the top of these flats. So the plants might actually be probably a good 3 inches from the light, but still they are not getting leggy whatsoever. And I've had them in there for 3 or 4 days. So as you can see, it's a wonderful sight as far as the eye can see. Tomato plants. I believe I saved 850 so far. So I am 50 above my goal, and so now I'm going to have a bunch of extra. So it should be pretty cool. And hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode. Hopefully you guys learned something. And as always, remember to grow big or go home. See you, YouTube. Bye.